one of these local military baby dicks is growing his dick. I hope he comes back around. God, I just want to tell all these local military men they're a bunch of baby dick cowards. And they are. If they're local military, not all military men, of course, but the ones local around me, yeah. They only put the lowly, slimy things that are both angry and then given some authority over things, and like watch this little thing's little dick just swell from like Tootsie Roll with the twist thing, you know, the little twist ties, to like, you know, one of the fun size. But I also am certain that with the local males that they cycle around me, sorry, my voice is very bad. I was yelling in the storm yesterday, but I am certain that because they have to have these things come around me, but they get so, for years, like, they would come around me and I would make them feel intimidated because I would reference one of my many and unanimously better qualities than them. I don't care who doesn't like to hear that. America, you think I'm very vain. I say these things as shit talk. I cut my own hair and it looks retarded, and I still wouldn't take it over like the uncertain moron cuts of these idiots. They pump them full of testosterone when they come around me, because you could see that. I've seen a guy once that I could tell was pumped up with roids with this big buddy. And the thing is, like, they do that so that they can't yield to somebody in any challenge. Like, it doesn't matter that logically I'm right and that I don't have to give a shit about you. You are coming here because of me. You are making yourself your burden to me for no reason. I can say anything I want and I still have the moral high ground. But it's so that these things don't yield, because for so long they had yielded to like any reviling pressure. Anytime I just make fun of them, that's my whole thing. I just make fun of these idiots, like point out how uncertain he is about himself, how he's not even comfortable in his own skin, and how much he wishes he was me. And if he was, he wouldn't be the one doing this stupid shit. You know, like coming under me and trying to do his best acting impression, as though it's not obvious to anybody now watching through my camera, but certainly through my eyes, that you're not a moron, or that you are a moron. That's what you're showing me that. That's why they pump them full of testosterone when they come around me, so that this idiot nitwit military male can't concede obvious inferiority, and they all are. Either you're a muscle-jacked moron and you're inferior and you're trying to just never be challenged. That's why you wear all those muscles. But I wear a lot of muscles too. And my muscles, I'm not afraid of these fucking morons. I'm faster than them. I'll last longer than them. I bet if you asked their wife and gave her an opportunity to prove it true, I bet she would testify to it too. So that was one thing I wanted to address. And then, so I was thinking, like, of cataclysm, and like there's, 8 billion people, and though one concedes that it's all based on God makes this bacteria in overabundance so that the best, like, and then tests the ones that come through and become a better thing. It's like getting rid of exoskeleton and molting. It's like, well, what would be the point of that if that's just then the circle of life? It's just like this thing man is evolved from the molds in the ground that survive without competition. They grow. A billion years later, there's man. 900 million years later, there's technology. 20 years later, there's Armageddon. Start from scratch again. It's like, what is the point of this? Because there's got to be a cosmic point. It's not just random. There has to be. All things are with incentive, and all like incentive rewards all utility, and it only rewards grand utility, whether it's on an ecological scale, an economic scale. Everything in nature proves that, or would yield to that postulation. But I think it's so for like a grand cosmos, even the stars and billions of miles apart from anything, and all this, the grand space and matter, planets, stars, whatever. Even on a basic even on that level, still are, quarks are vital, but so man is quark on that scale. But like, you can see the utility of man being the generation of these very powerful forces, and like it's like the function of a tiny little mitochondria or something peripheral to a mitochondria in a bacterial cell, which provides this little thing. And if done in like over a great scale of cosmos, space, astronomy, it's like that's how it adds to the thing. But there has to be a reason other than just that these people are stupid retards who hopefully incur the wrath, because this generation sucks. It is so worthy. But that's what I've had to reconcile. They make the men shoot up with testosterone so that they have testicles around me. And the only utility for us is to generate radio waves. And it's, when they did the atomic bomb, like such a contribution to like even that one thing then would have perhaps quantum repercussions on a cosmic scale, including vast reaches of space. That's what I was thinking about right there, in case anybody was wondering. Still trying to upload that concerning Kendall County, which is going very slow. Also YouTube, AT&T. I can't be surprised. I'm using this data, which the government pays for. This is the EBB. My government is still friend to me, providing for most of my life, just not in any way that affords for actual life. But the government's paying you to provide me a service because it deems the individual public having that service as a worthy thing for the government to apportion the people's money towards. And here I made maybe the foolish decision of choosing to stick with you, even though because I think you want me to be away and just sweep me under the rug. So I'm going to stick with you and make sure you get public funding to fuck off and not do your job and give me data that I paid for. But the legislature deemed it worthy for each person, even for a moron like me, an individual moron, to have the unlimited data package that it's paying for now, and you're disallowing it, even though I have full bars, yet it goes like the ticks of 0.2 and 0.3 and 0.5 megabits on full bar service. On America's Best Network, it says so I was thinking about that as well. Your advertising can legally get away with it by saying the best network in America, and you might have the infrastructure and all the capacity and wield all the capacity, and by virtue of the consumer tying into that system, which gets just a small percentage of that capacity, you get to say they have access to America's best network, where you're talking about things that are like, all the major things are drawing into your network. So like your average idiot like me has no access to that network. But you still get to claim these false claims. It's like advertising, the bane of me. You will be the bane. You'll be the end of me. Advertising, getting my mouth working like this just so they could smash it and shove it up my ass. Advertising, but by you I am undone. See, Alice, I no longer so much resemble a reptile, only in my epidermis. My face is still rather reptilian, and I'm pretty sure I hatched from that egg. But I can go to a fair or a carnival, and no one's looking at me like I'm some lizard human. But you're limiting my data, which the American people are paying for. Like, while I have to whore myself on blacklist from a bunch of fat slugs that you have used to then go tell on me for any pretense, which isn't the case even. Like, these homosexuals harass me at the gym. They do not, like, some of them, they're like trying to play these eyes with me all day. It's like, you are so pathetic. How do you not get this? Like, that I don't want anything to do with you. Like, how can one have this mouth that you have to then all cycle around, but be in the closet? You would have to be a total fraud. That most fundamental thing about you, you're afraid of, but like, you're going to tell us everything about truth? No, I like women. And these self-loathing homosexuals, it's like social homosexuals, they weren't born that way. like those who can't help it. And even though these ones cannot help it either, like they had their sexuality imposed upon them by society. They were molested by their dads and uncles and dads' friends and older peers, and they just like became this angry thing that is attracted to men and hates themselves for it, something they can't control. Like you couldn't change it if you wanted to. You obviously want to and want to be able to be normal around women and have women like you. But maybe it also comes down to they were a bunch of unfuckable things in high school and they just got drunk as high schoolers and started playing with each other's dicks. So they're like, boy, I wonder what it is to have my wiener around something warm that wasn't my hand. That's what it comes down to with these things. That's why they hate me, is because I say these things, which is the truth. I just lost all of American masculinity because evolution, is nature's not a woman, because like it's this angry, stingy male who's like, no, it's all mine, because like women want so much more than the men have, that the men are very angry. So if it was a woman, you know that everything would be walking around tripedal, like me. But it's not. Nature's not a woman, actually. It's just this dude who's like, I don't think so. I'm not sharing with this clan or that clan, I guess, because everybody's very hateful. And it's like I was very uncomfortable in their own skin and just plans on being anonymous. That's why I shine light on individuals who come around me. I want America to look at this thing and be like, yep, that thing is there to be ugly and behave ugly. It's there because it's ugly, and it's there to behave ugly. And they got someone to behave ugly who is ugly and behaves how it looks and how society then treats it. Anyways, we're getting off subject. The cosmic utility, like ecology, even on a human level to the stars and stuff, maybe generating certain rays. And then once you've done that enough, it like keeps a force in balance in check, or just, accounts for it across the vast wormhole of cosmos. But I don't think wormholes are just like, it's not a through thing. It's just like you're seeing two, like they're side by side. It's just like, think of like a magnifying glass, how it would look in this dark thing. And on the other side of that, you're on the other side of the universe, but it's tied at this knot right here. And it's like literally the other side of that knot is right there. That's why light can't like get out of it. It's so far away from it, from where you're looking at it through that black hole. Oh, geez, look where we are now. Who knows? I'm just sitting here pondering. And AT&T, you're still, look at this. Now it was just at 385 with America's best network, they say. 360 megabytes says now it's 385. It's been a 13-minute video. It's like, how is it taking, it's getting 2 megabytes a minute. AT&T's network with me is getting 2 megabytes a minute when the American people are paying for this. It's like, I'm trying to tell the American people, and your government is doing things that it takes me a couple thoughts about it to like realize they're not actually being that sinister. This EBB program is giving me the ability to still talk, because everybody hears this, they'll not acknowledge it, except for, planes constantly overhead. I don't know what that is, but like your government's like, they're paying then to let my voice continue like this, putting it onto YouTube. Anyone can do this, but these things won't let it happen. So they're giving me, for what the government is paying a full thing for, full $50 for the unlimited package. I don't got the hotspot. I couldn't afford it. That would be $65 an extra. So. But I do have like this unlimited data, which I'm using to try to tell the American people, or inform them, just give them a perspective. Because mine is like this one that they keep poking and prodding with a stick with these ugly cage masters. And they are all locally ugly. These locally ugly men they have in droves. The ugly American military, which ugly American military man didn't go to college where there would be women around him. He went to this ugly thing with a bunch of ugly men that wear ugly beards and have ugly pugnacious faces. So they put these ugly morons, these ugly dim-witted, angry pimple dick malcontents in this sinister apparatus which preys on children and turns little young men into, it's a homosexuality factory. so they can be nice and angry like their peers, like their dad's peers and stuff. But like here, that's relevant perspective. Though you might not like it, that's only because you're part of it. And that thing thrives in darkness, in secrecy. And here, your government's like, I can't legislate. How the fuck would this get legislated? This guy's at least telling. That's why they keep preserving some part of the First Amendment, the most important amendment. Because if you can't even legally tell the truth, how is someone supposed to be brave enough and bold enough and put himself on always the line and have his cats tortured to tell you idiots the truth? Who can't think outside? If you can't think enough not to watch the stupid Walking Dead and the stupid Game of Thrones and the stupid Harry Potter and Twilight and everything else that you just let you retreat into fantasy instead of facing any social problems because your grandparents killed your killed your parents' great causes of the prior generation. You can't think enough not to watch these dumb shows. How are you going to think your way out of these massive corporations killing the planet and not giving a shit about you because they have bunkers with greenhouses and you're going to be dead on the surface and who gives a fuck about you, retard? If you're not dumb enough not to watch and waste all your time playing Xbox and this thing that is Call of Duty, which is always violence and mayhem, and you don't participate in any governmental thing, which doesn't even matter because you have no power, how the fuck, if someone can't even say the truth to tell you these things so you might snap out of it, that actually you're not this retarded thing, you just by habit become this awful retarded thing, how the fuck are you ever going to fix it? Except you won't. You're just these brain dead slugs and it doesn't matter. Bringing us back around to me not knowing what I was talking about. I'll write those two things, cosmic utility and testosterone and steroids in these local males to give them any sort of confidence beyond their anonymous million slug apparatus of a million ugly, angry slugs who are meant to be fearsome. But then takes a hit with this mouth and this lightsaber, so they had to pump them full of testosterone every time they might come around me. Because that makes them nice and aggressive and gives them that courage that all of themselves in any way they so thoroughly lack. Okay, good.